Good evening, this is WION Wallet and I am Sumit Chaturvedi. Let's go straight to our top headlines. In telecom wars, now Airtel follows Jio freebie schemes. Bharti Airtel announces its free roaming plan for customers. Nokia is in a reboot mode. Nokia all set to launch its new version of 17-year-old iconic Nokia 3310 handset. $10 lakh employees in the banking sector to go on strike in response to merger of 5 associate banks with State Bank of India. And Maruti Suzuki India has stopped sales of Ritz, which was launched in 2009. Ritz is considered as one of Maruti's most lucrative models. Now the biggest story coming from telecom sector, where a week after Reliance Jio announcing its roaming charges and free roaming charges, Bharti Airtel has also followed freebie schemes. Good news for you and good news for our customers, as all incoming calls and messages will be free. And no premium will be charged on outgoing calls as well while roaming across India from 1st of April. Well, the move will benefit about 268 million mobile customers of Bharti competition in the telecom industry, as the whole competition is getting very intense and price wars have gone to another level. Bharti's new offer will hurt its business, but this move will help Airtel to remain in the race. Now staying with the telecom space, where Finnish mobile device player Nokia is in reboot mode as it gets ready to bring to India a new version of its 17-year-old iconic Nokia 3310 handset in the next quarter. Nokia 3310 will be priced at Rs 3500 and HMD Global has license to design and sell Nokia branded phones globally, as well as use technologies developed by Nokia Corporation. Nokia 3310 was the most widely used feature phone globally in 2000 to 2005. It is estimated to have sold 126 million units globally when there were only a few countries with mobile networks. HMD Global also unveiled Nokia 5 for more than 13,000 rupees and Nokia 3 smartphone for 10,000 rupee range. But prices can fluctuate according to taxation and other policies. The company has already been selling Nokia 6 in China. Now news from petroleum space, where India plans to create a giant oil company by combining state-owned firms with ONGC's functions integrated with HPCL's refining and distribution capabilities. The move will help Indian companies match the performance of global and domestic private sector oil and gas giants. Oil and Natural Gas Corporation will take control of Hindustan Petroleum Corp as part of government's plan to create an integrated public sector oil entity similar to big global oil companies like Shell, BP and Exxon. The government will transfer HPCL majority shareholding to ONGC, creating an integrated public sector oil major, which will be able to make India match up with the performance of leading global and domestic private sector oil and gas companies. HPCL, which owns and operates 2 major refineries in Mumbai and Visakhapatnam and has largest lubricants unit and second largest pipeline network apart from vast marketing system. Well, just to update the viewers, this scheme was announced in the recent budget. Now, moving on, despite the government's efforts to attract investment under its Make in India campaign, sales of manufacturing goods fell by 3.7% during 2015 and 16. It's the first decline in 7 years due to the global slowdown. The demand and sales of manufacturing goods were falling even before demonetization, affecting sectors varying from textiles to leather to steel. Economists agree that the government must take steps to undo the damage caused by demonetization by investing more in infrastructure, remonetizing the economy and increasing the allocation for public spending programs. The government needs to remonetize the financial system quickly, as the informal economy, which includes parts of manufacturing sector, is dependent on it. Economists say the government must step in to support the manufacturing sector, which constitutes 15 to 16% of the GDP and supports 12% of the workforce. Now, Godrej Aerospace, the company which makes parts for ISRO and defense, is ready to make more and take more orders. Godrej Aerospace, a business unit of Godrej and Boyce, which had recently contributed to ISRO's successful launch of 104 satellites by manufacturing critical system and components for the launch vehicle, is ready with a 200 crore rupees facility for taking on new orders from aerospace and defense sector. For ISRO's launch, Godrej Aerospace had manufactured second-stage liquid propulsion engine and the fourth-stage reaction control system components for the launch vehicle. Since 1985, the company has been working with government agencies such as Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, and ISRO. Later, it became a supplier to BrahMos Aerospace for its missile program. It has also been a top vendor for ancillary supplies to global defense and aerospace majors such as Rolls-Royce, GE, and Snecma. Now, news from auto space, where Japanese auto parts maker Takata Corp is expected to plead guilty to a criminal charge and agreed to a $1 billion penalty for concealing a deadly airbag inflator problem. The company is scheduled to be in U.S. District Court in Detroit later today. Last month, it agreed to plead guilty to one count of wire fraud. 3 executives were also indicted on charges that they falsified test reports. Takata inflators can explode with too much force, spraying shrapnel into drivers and passengers. At least 16 people have been killed worldwide and more than 180 have been hurt. Judge George Karam is to be asked to appoint attorney Kenneth Parikh to distribute restitution payments to victims and their families. Well, remember, because of the Takata problem, millions of cars were recalled last year. Well, the cars belong to Honda and Toyota. Well, the recall spread over 30 million cars across the world. Well, moving to India, where 10 lakh employees and officers in the banking sector, including public sector, private, foreign, cooperative and regional rural banks, will go on a strike on Feb 28, which is tomorrow, in response to the call of United Forum of Bank Unions and protesting against the decision to merge 5 associate banks with SBI. Opposing the cabinet approval and subsequent gazette notification, bankmen are planning strike on apprehension that the merger would result in closure of large number of branches, loss of employment opportunities and curtail banking services to common customers. Bank employee unions have alleged that the government was trying to reduce number of public sector banks even as it was giving licenses to small finance banks, payment banks and universal banks in the private sector. Now, India's largest car maker, Maruti Suzuki India, has stopped sales of Ritz, which was launched in 2009. Ritz is considered as one of the Maruti's most lucrative models, which has played a crucial role in strengthening its existence in the market. India's largest car maker, Maruti India, has ceased production and sale of one of its liked and admired hatchbacks car, Ritz, in both domestic and international markets. Ritz was launched in the year 2009 in both petrol and diesel variants and has sold over 4 lakh units till date. Ritz has been one of Maruti's successful models in its portfolio and played a role in strengthening its presence among the modern compact cars. Now, moving to best story of the day, Oscars. At a time when everybody is talking about Moonlight, the surprise winner of the Best Picture at the Oscars, we bring you some numbers associated with the movies that were nominated in this category. Take a look at the story.
Hello.
Hello, Lee. I just want to call and say I'm sorry.
I'm Colonel GT Weapon Army Intelligence. Pack your bags. Oh, okay.
The movies nominated in the Oscars are generally not known as crowd pleasers.
Do not look to him to save you on the battlefield.
Hence, their box office collections are not always astounding.
Been here for a while. We all get there together, we don't get there at all.
Are you okay? This year, there were 9 movies nominated in the Best Pictures category, which included Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hidden Figures, Lion, La La Land, Moonlight, Hell or High Water, and Manchester by the Sea.
One guy to an island with you and you knew you'd be safe because he was the best man. He was going to keep you happy. If it was between me and your father, who would you take?
My daddy.
The highest grosser is Hidden Figures, with a domestic collection of $144.5 million. This is closely followed by La La Land, with a domestic collection of about $134.6 million. Rest each collected less than $100 million, except for Arrival, which almost touched 100 million mark. It is interesting to note that the proportion of investment as per the reported budgets and box office returns are not quite in the same order as their collections. If we look at the graph here, it is clear that Hidden Figures and La La Land surely earned almost 5 to 6 times of what was invested, but instead of Arrival or Hacksaw Ridge following the lead, Manchester by the Sea and Moonlight are the one who earned 4 to 5 times of their investments.
For Best Picture,
Moonlight, Best Picture.
The box office collections hardly matter to the Academy Awards jury, and this was reiterated this year when Moonlight dramatically took away the Best Picture award. Lowest budget, lowest box office grosser, and yet the unquestionable winner at the world's most prestigious film awards.
Who is you, Sharon?
Shilpika for WION.
For a long time, try not to remember.
Well, that was the business of Oscars. Now, moving on, Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on more than $1.6 billion of gains in its investment in Apple after shares of the iPhone maker surged. Through the annual report, Berkshire revealed its massive stake in Apple stock as of December 31st had risen to 61.2 million shares for a total of $6.75 billion, an average of about $110.17 apiece. Berkshire became one of the top 10 Apple investors in 2016, taking a stake of more than 9 million shares in the first quarter and then accelerating purchases in the last 3 months of the year. The Apple investment appears to reflect much of the $12 billion of stock that Buffett said he had bought between November 8 presidential election and the end of January. Now it's time for the short break. After the break, we will continue with our coverage of markets. Stay tuned. Welcome after the break. Now straight to our markets coverage, where Indian benchmark indices closed lower for the first time in last 7 consecutive trading sessions, dragged by banks, telecom, auto stocks. The 30-year BSE Sensex was down 80.9 points at 2,088.12.88, and the 50-share NSE Nifty fell for 42 points to 8,896, while the broader markets outperformed benchmarks despite weak breadth. So, to talk more on this, we are joined by Savitri Singh, Senior Research Analyst. She'll be joined very soon. As far as markets were concerned, Sensex snapped 6-day gains today. The banks dragged Nifty really below 8,900, while RIL was up 5%. So a lot of things are happening in the markets, but markets are not likely to see the rally they were seeing 2 weeks ago. Banking stocks were in focus today. Telecom stocks were also there. There was a lot of action in IT stocks today as well. But the biggest thing, for the first time in 7 days, Sensex ended lower. This was one big factor which was there today. Going forward, market will depend on a lot of factors, including the results of upcoming UP elections. In UP, today was another day where the votes were put into ballot. So that's one factor which whole market is looking forward to in the coming few days. This will define the market's movement in the coming few days as well. It's expected that markets may touch 30,000 mark very soon. A lot of discussions are happening around what is market going to do in the next few days. Telecom is a sector where lots of telecom wars are happening. Today, we saw Bharti Airtel announcing the roaming free plan as a result of Jio. So now our guest is going to talk to us, Savitri Singh. Thanks for talking to us, ma'am. First of all, we would like to know from your side, for the first time in so many days, we saw market snapping. a market coming down and closing down. What do you think about it for the coming few days?
Hello, Smith. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. See, I believe market is not on the sliding mode, but we can see more of as a correction, because you cannot just keep increasing or riding on the market. There should be some substantial, there should be a gradual increment rather than the substantial increment. So it's like if you want to sustain in the market, it should be gradual. So it's like you can take it as the market correction. First of all, I would like to say that there is tomorrow, Donald Trump would be addressing US Congress for the first time since election. So that's the crucial thing market is looking for. So it's like everyone is keeping open eyes that what he's going to reiterate for the tax reforms, infrastructure development, and fiscal stimulus. So these are the things market are looking for cautiously. And for in the domestic market, there is a GDP data for the third quarter expected. So we are expecting somewhere around 5.8 to 6.4%. So, but if something comes below that, then I think market is little skeptical about. So it's like wait and watch mode for the global as well as the international market.
Talking about some specific stocks, how did telecom stocks perform today? Do you think that Airtel's announcement of free roaming will impact the stock going forward also?
I would like to say that it's like telecom war going on currently, because everybody is in the consolidation mode. So I want some I want some loser in the market. I want to get consolidated with the stronger one. So it's like consolidation. It's like fight. It's like war going among them. So I don't think this is going to much impact the Bharti Airtel as of now. But just because of it's a Jio is putting so much of pressure in the telecom sector, so everybody is coming up with something different which other don't have. So I don't see any positivity for the Airtel after this announcement.
Well, we are just 10 to 12 days away from the election announcement, results announcement, where the results will be announced for 5 key states. So how do you see market reacting to this in the coming few days, so in advance of this result announcement?
As we have seen in the past demonetization, market would have gone under the huge correction, but just because of the better than expected budget announcement and the positivity which we are getting from the election is pulling flurry of sentiments going in the market currently. It's like everything is positive, many data are coming positive, and demonetization is what we expected from the demonetization. It was not that much. It was like so much of noise for the demonetization. It didn't impact that much in the market. So it's like you can see the market movement, the very smartly it moved, and we are expecting, so far we are expecting hung assembly in the UP election. But I believe market is taking that in the positivity that BJP government will come strongly in the UP also, along as we have seen in the Maharashtra with the corporation elections. So it's like everything is taking positively. So we don't see anything negative. But if something comes beyond for the, if something comes negative for the UP election, then I can see a huge correction in the market on the back of it.
But do you expect markets to decline further, as it has gone up already by 7% in the last few days? Do you expect downslide to start from here for markets?
Technically, if we talk, market should sustain somewhere around 8960. If it sustain at 8960, then I maybe we are very positive that it will break previous high and go beyond 9000. But if it fights, because we have seen it has been fighting at 8960 continuously. So if it loses momentum there, then I can see some correction. We are most likely to see some correction if it doesn't if the GDP data doesn't come properly, and if Donald Trump go against something you can say tax reforms, border tax. So we may see some correction, but everything is like wait and watch for tomorrow, what our economic data, macroeconomic data says.
If the results come in favor of the market, as if the markets are expecting BJP or NDA to come to most of the states, if they come there, do you think we'll be able to touch 30,000 mark very soon as far as Sensex is concerned?
Yeah, it's like self-explanatory answer you have, since just by the thinking about the fact that we will be able, BJP will be able to get the good share in the UP election, we feel sentiments, positive sentiment in the market. So it's like once it is out and once the election result is out, we are likely to see good market movement if it is in the positive for the BJP.
Well, market was under pressure today. If it falls further, do you think this is a time when investors can still, enter market and enter selected few stocks?
Yeah, I would like to say if market further corrects from here, so there could be a good opportunity to gather the banking stock because you can see that there is a sector rotation is going on. Like earlier, it was the banking who was taking the charge to bull the charge the bull, but now it's like energy, Reliance, and all the telecoms are in the pace to take the market on the upside. So it's like sector rotation is going on. So somebody has to go up and somebody has to balance the index. So if we see further correction, then I would advise to gather the quality stock in the banking.
And tomorrow, the Banks Union, they have announced strike against the proposed merger of SBI. There, the SBI stock jumped quite a bit when last week the cabinet had okayed the merger. What do you think these kind of opposition will play a role going forward in SBI stock's performance?
See, as we already, as I already told you, that it's a era of consolidation is going on. It's like if you want to compete against the global market, you have to have a big. As we know that ONGC, like Arun Jaitley has announced that having the merger of ONGC with HPCL and BPCL, it's like consolidation. If you want to fight against the global market, so SBI they have a number of banks. So if definitely if a consolidation happens, then there would be impact in the stocks. So, but it is in a longer way, it's good because the consolidation makes the efficiency. It will increase the efficiency of the bank. Operational efficiency will increase. But these things keeps coming and going. So I don't see much impact from the if there is a strike and all. It will definitely gradually reduce over the period of time.
Well, there's going to be IPO rush in March. There are at least 5 companies that are coming with IPO planning to raise around 4,000 crore rupees. Do you suggest our viewers to go and put money in these IPOs?
Yeah, definitely. I would advise to subscribe the IPO of VMart because, as we know, DMart, because as we know, it's a very huge, strong footholding in the Maharashtra. And if you see from this grassroots level, its efficiency is so much that if you cannot compare with the future consumers, if you take the example of Big Bazaar, their per square feet earning and everything is very good. Like it's the productivity, the quality of product they sell, and you can say the AC investor, the money is there. So it's like all positivity associated with particular stock. And I would further advise also to subscribe CDSL also because being the regulator, they are also good. But I most likely I would like to put emphasis on the DMart IPO.
Well, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us on markets. Well, this is all today we have for WION Wallet viewers. For more news and updates, stay tuned to WION. Thanks for watching us.